Hello everyone, Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. I'm so glad you dropped by for my weekly video. I will be making a Peace and Joy Christmas card featuring this gorgeous dove with the olive branch. Here is the die set from Momenta. It is just beautiful. I can't say enough about it. And then here are the simple papers I will be using just so we can focus on that beautiful dove. So you can see I've got all my pieces and parts on a piece of white cardstock here, and I will get that run through my Sizzix Big Shot die cutting machine very quickly. I will go through this a couple of times because there are some intricate parts to that wing. Okay, I'll get that removed and show you some of these pieces. This wing is gorgeous. It embosses and cuts out some of the intricate details. And then the actual body of the dove is beautiful as well. I'll pop out these pieces and give you a little history on doves very quickly. As you know, they symbolize peace. The olive branch symbolized victory over death. There are over 300 species of doves found on every continent in the world except Antarctica. And they have always been known as an early form of long-distance communication. So just a little history about the dove and why it's so significant for the Christmas holidays. Okay, so I've got all my pieces and parts laid out here. And then, as you can see, I've got my dove body here, but there's some beautiful embossing detail that does not come out when you do your initial die cutting. So I'll simply place that cardstock back into the die. I'm using a little bit of washi tape here, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine one more time, but this time I'll be using an embossing plate. What I like to use to bring out embossed details is this Sizzix Emboss and Transfer set. You can see on the back of the packaging it shows you the sandwich that you need to make, so that's what I'll be doing. I've got that dove down on a cutting plate, and then there's a rubber silicone mat, and then this hard white mat. And I'll be flipping over to tab 1 on my platform here. Get that put into my machine, and my little sandwich is shown on the packaging, and I'll run that through a couple of times because I want this embossing to really transfer over to the body of that dove. And as you can see, even from the back side of the dove, it is completely transformed. Look how beautiful that is, just a tone-on-tone embossing on that die cut. Okay, now as you can see from the packaging, there is a second wing, so you simply take this solid die cut right here for the outline, run that through your die cutting machine, and you get your second solid wing. That will go behind the intricate wing on the finished dove. Alright, now moving on to my card. This is a 5x7 card base, and all supplies and dimensions can be found on my card blog, so please pop over and visit me, and feel free to subscribe, leave me comments. I'd love to see you every week for weekly video tutorials. Okay, this is roughly how the dove will go together on the front of my card with the words. Just getting the layout down here to see where I need to adhere the dove, and that's what I'll be working from, is the dove figure first. As I was laying this out, I noticed that my words, peace and joy, were getting a little lost on that snowflake background, so I ran them through my Sizzix Big Shot again using the same gray cardstock that I used on the mat on the front of my card. And what this will do, it gives me 2 words and 2 of the and signs, and if I offset that to the left and up just a bit, it will give me the illusion of a shadow. And that is just enough to make it stand out on that snowflake mat. I think that looks pretty good. And I've also decided to do my words on an angle like this. So now I know where to start placing my dove. Now I like to work with a liquid adhesive here because A, There's some intricate parts in the tail and so forth, and I can go around that fairly easily. And also B, it lets me make slight adjustments on the angle and the position of my die cut as I'm putting it down on the front of my card. If I were to use a tape runner, it would be stuck and it would pull up my paper if I needed to make any adjustments. But with the liquid adhesive, I can wiggle it around just a bit. And if I move fast enough, I can get that olive branch under the beak and insert the solid wing back behind the body of my dove, just like this. So this tacky glue dries permanently, but it does give me a little bit of wiggle room to make slight adjustments after I've got the body on the front of the card. There we go. Got our first wing down. That's a background wing. And now for the intricate wing. And I like that, but I really would like a little bit of dimension on the fringed edges of that wing. So I'm going to take a little bit of foam tape and I just cut it into very thin strips, trying to hide that behind the cutouts on the wing tip here. And I will flip this over a couple of times and make sure I can't see that foam tape from the front. I don't want to be able to see that through the cutout, so I can adjust my foam tape, cut it down a little bit smaller, reattach it into some wider areas, and all I need is a little lift there on the tip of my wing. I'm going to glue the lower half that's closest to the body. I'm going to actually glue that down onto the dove with just a little bit of this liquid adhesive, and then let the foam tape lift the ends of the wing. And I think that gives it just enough dimension to kind of pop off the front of the card, just like this. Okay, you can see that little bit of dimension. Then I'll take a little liquid adhesive and get the words put on at that angle. I think that looks nice. They're very easy to center because of the word peace and joy. Just lining up my ampersand there and the joy right below that, and perfectly centered at the angle. Okay, that about completes the front of my card. And as a last little bit of detail, I decided to bring over some gems just for the center of my snowflakes. It's going to add a little sparkle and shine, and I am just going to go through and give myself some glue dots on the center of these snowflakes. Again, I like to use the liquid adhesive, even though these are adhesive, self-adhering gemstones. I like to use the liquid because I can, again, adjust those gems where I want them before they completely dry. So here's a close-up look at my finished card. You can see that sparkle in the center of those snowflakes, and I think that is just enough detail for this beautiful Christmas card. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and that you will get inspired to maybe give this little die a chance. It just makes beautiful cards. Here's my lined envelope. You can find those on my YouTube channel as well under Vintage Hill Studio. Lined envelopes are easy peasy envelopes. I'm so glad you dropped by today. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel or my card blog, where I will have weekly videos for you every week, ready for you to come back and visit me. Happy crafting, everyone!